Bobby was a kid from round the town, kicks pumped up and head held down.
All right.
Welcome to Tuesday's marketing call with Pete Sanchez. Pete, I appreciate you for being here on short notice. Gina unfortunately couldn't make it today, so prayers to Gina and her family. And Pete, if you can just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're going to talk about today.
Sure. And thank you guys for having me on the call. It's a privilege and honor to be here because I think I came across this call, I want to say in 2009, when I got involved with short sales, and I really wanted to master short sales. And I don't know how I got introduced to Lee. I think it was through a friend, and I was just barely starting on real estate. So when we start, right, our mental awareness, it's not there, right? We're not able to think outside the box until you go through a certain personal development where you read the right books, you hang out with the right people, and then you're able to see the world in different angles that most people don't see because they're watching CNN, constant negative news all day, or just not listening to the right content. So I dived right in, and I'm just really grateful that I have met Lee because his monster marketing just blew my mind on at that time of like with the short sales. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing how it gets you face to face. And I just kept plugging in with him for many years. So again, I'm just very grateful that I get to be a speaker here, which is a testament to what he started for us. And a lot of people here on this call have been in business for many years, which is really great. So this is a really good call, and I just want to say thank you guys again for having me. So I'll definitely deliver some good content because this call is all about content. It's never really pitching coaching or software products or anything like that. It's just, hey, let's get to what is working right now. How can we get some business? So thank you guys again for having me.
Absolutely.
So a little bit about me. I'm originally from the Imperial County. The city's called El Centro, right by the border of Mexico and the U.S. A little bit about my story. Living here to be, we have the highest unemployment. You either work at the prisons, teacher. There's not really a lot of jobs, border patrol. But at an early age in high school, I knew that I wanted to be successful. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but because the formal education teaches us to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, put your money in a 401k, and hopefully you'll retire with $1 million plus. But it wasn't until I moved to San Diego, right, where it's a bigger city, people think much bigger, that I got introduced to a coworker of mine gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which I'm pretty sure probably 95% of the people on this call have read. And that's really the book that unlocked the entrepreneurial in me that was buried for many years, because I don't come from an entrepreneurial family. My dad was a mechanic and my mom worked at the juvenile detention center. So we never talked about money, real estate investments, even though parents had rental properties, but they never took the time to like, hey, this is why we buy rental properties, because you get depreciation and tax benefits and just so. But it wasn't until Rich Dad Poor Dad started my journey, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, and it led me to my first business, which was network marketing, MLM, like Herbalife, those type of companies. And the biggest thing that I learned there that I want to leave to this call is MLM is a very unique business model where most of the time we're selling skincare and juice products. So you have to have a certain caliber of sales and mindset. So MLM is really big on personal development, growing your mindset. And that was like the biggest thing that I got out of that industry was I made a lifelong commitment to my personal growth. And that's really where I want to start this call, because as I go into the how-tos right now, it's not really the how-tos, it's the why nots. Why aren't we doing the things that we know that we should be doing? Right? Making the dials, following up, investing in marketing. Why aren't we doing those things? And it always goes back to our mindset, because I believe that 90% of our success in any business is going to be our mindset. So if you're on this call and you're not committed, if you're not committed to your personal development, then I could strongly say then you're not committed to your success in your business. Because again, 90% of it is mindset. So because again, I'm going to show you how to get the listings and but if you don't leave this call and you don't change your personal development habits, like instead of maybe listening to a couple hours of certain type of music, there's nothing wrong with listening to music, but maybe switch, maybe half the time you're listening to your music, which you like, and then the other time you're listening to personal development stuff. Like some of my favorites have been Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn. Have you guys ever heard of Jim Rohn? He's one of the pioneers of personal development. So anytime that I'm in my car, I take my drives to San Diego, my 2-hour drives, or to Palm Springs or whatever. I have to listen to something. Like, as much as I like certain type of music, but I'm like, you know what? I have to discipline myself. I'm gonna listen to 2 hours on tax and legal strategies, which is like, could be very boring, but I'm like, you want to turn your car into a university on wheels. So so the foundation of your success again is your personal development. So again, look at your calendars, and are you reading books? Are you listening to podcasts? Obviously you guys are here on this call, so this is part of your personal growth. So I want to acknowledge you guys for being here, because you guys are champions to be on this call. So again, I cannot stress how important it is to work on your personal development, because again, that's what I've learned through these guys. Jim Rohn, especially Jim Rohn, says that our income is correlated to our personal growth. So the more personal growth, as we climb in our personal growth, then our income automatically, there's a direct correlation to it. So the more that we grow as a person, the more that we're going to be able to solve problems, right? Because that's what we do in real estate, is the person who solves the most problems is going to be compensated the most. So you want to be able to be a problem solver. And when you meet people at the table, right, whether it's a listing appointment or a buyer's consultation, your personal, how much you've invested in your personal development is going to shine. Like, you're going to be a light in a dark place. And what I mean by that, like, I specifically see that in my market. We just moved from San Diego back to our hometown 2 years ago. And my wife and I are just destroying the competition down here. And we're just killing it in so many ways in our business. And I see why is that? And I look at how people operate here, from a mindset standpoint. And a lot of my friends, I just had my 20-year reunion last year, and a lot of my friends still like operate, and they think like if they were back in high school. Even in the vocabulary, there's no vocabulary of success. It's like the same old story, and it's unfortunate, but I'm very grateful that I've been brought back to this market, because I really want to leave a really some ripple effects in this market. I know I don't want to just, yes, kill it in business, so to speak, but I also want to serve my community. And like, hey guys, have you heard of these books, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill? I want to be able to help change the mindset down here, because it's about 20 years behind on so many levels. So I shared that story because maybe you're in a similar market, or most people are just not committed to their personal development. So you can have an amazing year after year. Again, if you follow with like a line that Jim Rohn says, if you want to work harder on yourself, then you work on your business. Again, you want to work harder on yourself, then you work on your business. Because if you work on your business, you're going to make a commission and you'll flip a property, whatever. But if you work harder on yourself, you're going to create legacy, you're going to create wealth, you're going to obtain wisdom that will get you through some very tough times, right? Emotionally, spiritually, financially. We've all been at those low points, and building the tough mindset is going to help you get back on your feet. It's going to help you stay laser focused, and not get caught up in the gossip, drama, or anything, that negative energy that's going to hold you back from succeeding. So again, I cannot stress how important it is, building your mindset. So again, if you're not implementing certain things in your daily schedule of personal development, you're going to have a very hard time, and you're going to be stuck where you're at. You're gonna continue to have that phone fear, right? Where this phone here, this device that can make us hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's gonna seem like it weighs 1,000,000 pounds, and that's all. It's all mindset, right? It's all mindset, because we're all real estate people here, and the most valuable piece of real estate is not in La Jolla, California. The most valuable piece of real estate is 6 inches between one ear to the other ear, maybe 8 inches for people like Fred. But no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, but seriously, like, so this is the most valuable piece of real estate right here, is our mindset. So make sure that you protect it. Make sure that you put certain guards of what you're allowing in. Stop with the CNN stuff. Stop with negative friends, people that all they want to do is just bring you down. Like, hang out with people that are going to lift you up, encourage you, and motivate you to want to become a better version of yourself. So
Absolutely.
That's a real good point, Pete. And one thing I learned in my divorce with my son's mom, I went to a marriage and family therapist, and one of the things that they said was that you're only as happy as the least happiest person in any relationship. You're only as happy as the least happiest person in any relationship. A happy person cannot bring an unhappy person up to their level, but an unhappy person can bring a happy person down to their level. So remember, in any relationship, you're only as happy as the least happiest person. So if you're in relationships and they're not healthy or they're not happy, then, unfortunately, we got to look in the mirror and we got to ask ourselves, are these the right relationships that we should be focused on? So the mindset is very important when it comes to all that. And sure, we don't want to change our marriages, and we don't want to do things to, ruin our kids' lives. But at the same time, we got to look at what's best for us. And what's best for us is not always what we're currently doing.
correct. So thank you for sharing that. So cool. So yeah, so let's do a little transition. Because again, I cannot stress the importance of the mindset. Because once you get the mindset, then my next part here, the how-tos, that's going to become automatic, right? You're just going to wake up and you're going to know what you got to do for the day. You have your time blocks, you're very consistent, you're disciplined. You go back to the basics. You do the phone calls. Most people right now are not doing the 5 to 6 hours a day prospecting. I enjoy it. I love being on the phones, and that's why we have 9 listings right now, and we have a listing appointment tonight, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get it. So we're going to have 10 listings.
Nice.
So that's a pretty big numbers, considering the average realtor will close 7 to 10 per year. So you're able to truncate what people are doing in 1 year to 30, 45 days. And especially right now, those who are willing to go back to the basics and do the hard work, because yes, we have those listings, but man, it's been work. It's been a lot of follow-up. It's been, showing up to the doors and they're not there for the appointments. There's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't know, but I would say, if you can go back to the basics in this market, because a lot of people really got comfortable with COVID, with the rates. A lot of people who got in the last couple of years, they got in when it was too easy, and they didn't get to develop their follow-up skills. They didn't develop their prospecting skills because it was too easy. Everybody was buying. Now the game has changed. So those with the skill sets right now are going to dominate this market because you're making the calls, you're following up, you're going back to the basics, and you're doing the work. So there's no way around it. So I'm going to share.
Let me ask
my
you a
screen.
question about that real quick before you start sharing. So Imperial Valley, the average median income salary is maybe, on the lower end, and it's, if you're making $75,000 a year there, you might be doing exceptionally well, right?
Yeah.
Versus other areas where $75,000 wouldn't, get you very far. But what my point is you have some listings. What is happening with the higher rates out there in the Imperial Valley, and how are you, what type of people are buying, and what are their debt to income ratios versus what you've seen in the past? Because that's an important thing to know. If I understand you're doing the listing side of it, and you may not know what's going on with the buyers, but what have you noticed out there regarding who's buying listings out there and what's going on out there?
That would be
Um,
also for tomorrow's call. If you want to come on tomorrow and we can discuss the market,
Right.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's more of a
Um,
market call.
yeah. So that's a very good question. We are starting to we're a lot of the business that we've been getting recently has been either they're relocating out of the Imperial Valley or they're relocating in. So like recently on the buying side, we got a buyer approved for 500,000. They're from San Diego and they want to buy a multifamily property here. So you can find multifamily under 500 here in the Imperial Valley. So people are starting to start looking at the Imperial Valley as another option, especially if they're working remotely. We just helped a teacher relocate from Northern California down here. So we're starting to see a lot of that happening because they're like, man, I lived over here by San Jose. I'm going to be paying 1.5 million for just the average house, but here I got a house for 425,000. It's a nice.
Uh-oh,
Yeah, he froze, huh?
he did.
But
I was really enjoying what he was talking about. I was really enjoying that, but hopefully he'll be back.
go ahead, Pete.
There he is.
Yeah. So let's dive on some of the content stuff that's helping us. So one of the so that the people that we just got pre-qualified for that duplex, they came from our YouTube channel. So I'm going to show you my wife's YouTube channel here. This is really hot right now. This is what's blowing up. This is what's blowing up is when you create a YouTube channel, not on yourself. So take away the name. You want to promote the market that you're in. So if you look at here, we're living in Imperial Valley. Look at this, #1 relocation experts. So this is hot right here. This is what's blowing up right now on YouTube is the agents that are creating content specific to their city. So you want to become the digital mayor of your town. Again, you want to become the digital mayor of your town. So this is what we're doing, and that those people found us. Yeah, they found us, because YouTube acts like a search engine, and a lot of our videos have specific tags to keywords. They have specific keywords to Imperial Valley. So like as an example, if you guys were to type right now, relocating to El Centro, right? And you click on the videos, you're going to start seeing my wife's information here. You're not going to see it on my end because she's part of my network, but if you do it yourself, relocating to El Centro, moving to El Centro, you're going to start seeing her videos pop up here. So anytime that somebody are doing their keyword searches, they're going to see wife's video. It takes them here, right? The first thing you're like, oh, dang, that's nice. Like living in the Imperial Valley. So where people are already attaching themselves like, oh, this person is an expert, a local expert. And then your videos, right? Like this one here, living near the border in Calexico. That's a very specific niche video to this town. And look at that, organically 4.5, 4,500 views. Not bad, organically. Let me show you some other videos here. Look at this one. This is another keyword, best places to live in El Centro, right? So I try to use keywords, Yuma, Arizona, real estate luxury, moving to El Centro, California home for sale. So I look up the keywords. It's very basic. I mean, you could type in here like moving to Palm Springs, and then you could see one here. So let me see, Palm Springs. So these are popular here. Moving to Palm Springs, California, moving to Palm Springs, Bloxburg. Probably that's not one you're going to use, but you want to go relocating to Palm Springs. There we go. So moving to Palm Springs. Make sure you capture all these keywords and you put them into your videos. Now YouTube is a long game. It's not something that it's gonna happen overnight. You gotta play this. It's a long-term game, but I saw an opportunity because I'm like, oh my God, no one is doing this in the Imperial Valley. So I'm gonna freaking like capture all the keywords and we're gonna drive content because over the next couple, again, we just moved here 2 years ago and we're starting to see the fruit already, people calling us from our YouTube. So in 3 to 5 years from now, if we're still here, we're going to put more content on there, right? We're going to capture restaurants, the 5 top schools in the Imperial Valley, and then we're going to go shoot a video at all these schools and just talk a little very briefly. The 5 best neighborhoods in El Centro, 5 best neighborhoods in Holtville, the pros and cons of living in Palm Springs, what to do on a Thursday night in Palm Springs. Are you guys trying to catch this? Have you become the digital mayor? And you put so much of that content, and people, when they go to your YouTube, they're like, damn, this person knows what they're talking about. And the best thing I love about YouTube, it's considered evergreen content. If you've never heard that word before, evergreen content. I know some people are learning this stuff from. Their YouTube channels are producing $3 to $4 million a year of real estate commissions. That's called evergreen content because they started these channels many years ago, and every single year, like one guy that I was at a conference recently, he's like, yeah, I get about 30 to 50 transactions a year consistently from my YouTube. And he doesn't even create YouTube videos anymore, but he's created so much content that and it's a guy in Hawaii. I can't remember his name, but when you look at his videos, you're like, damn, like he's capturing the transit system, the public transportation. Like it's really cool videos that he just shot with his cell phone. But again, he became the digital mayor of his town, and now he generates 30 to 50 transactions from just his YouTube alone, which is amazing. So I'm like, dang, I want to have a YouTube channel like that because yeah, it's being on the phones. I like it, but I think I would rather just have the phones ringing, right? Nope, everybody wants the inbound calls because they're obviously a lot hotter, especially these leads. Like I noticed when the guy called us. Give me 1 second. Stop calling me. The guy called us and he's like, hey, I saw your website. I saw your YouTube videos. I'm ready to buy a house. So that's what I love about having a really good YouTube channel is that they're going to watch your videos. They're researching you. They're going to, and so you want to make sure that you have all your things lined up. So your YouTube channel is one. The other thing is going to be your Google business page. So right now, my wife has 122, where is it at? 122 5-star. We have no less than 5 stars. So this is huge too, because again, Google is the search engine where you want to be on. And here's another this is where I saw another opportunity, because most agents that I look at their business profiles, they have 5 reviews, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are missing out, because once you hit 100 reviews, Google is going to put you at the higher search engine. So when people are searching top realtors, top real estate agent in the Imperial Valley, El Centro, the certain keywords, my wife's profile is going to show up. And what really sparked it for me was about a month ago, we had about maybe 30 reviews, and I've been like pushing, like helping her get more reviews. I went back into her past database, her friends. I'm like, hey, could you please leave a 5-star review, business or character reference, if you haven't done business with her, because we had a listing appointment where it was referred to by my uncle, and she's like, and I said, she told me, hey, yeah, I want to work with you guys because you guys provide more value. I don't want to work with the other guy. The only reason I work with the other guy is because he had over 100 reviews. And that was like, boom, that was like the light bulb for me. I was like, what? So as soon as we made that switch, we've seen a huge difference. And one really cool thing about it is when a lead comes in, I'm going to send them our YouTube link, and I'm also going to send them a link. I said, hey, by the way, check out our 122 5-star reviews. And they go in there and they're reading like all the nice things that they're saying, mostly about my wife, because my wife is the face of our business. But they're reading all these reviews and they're like, dang. So even before we go to the appointment, we're already winning. This is something that I learned from Krista Mashore. If you guys have seen her on Facebook, the blonde lady, she has her coaching product, Krista Mashore. She taught me that. She's like, you want to be winning before you show up to the appointment. So what she meant by that is like, hey, send them your website, send them your YouTube in a series. So not just all in one day. So if you have a listing appointment in 2 to 3 days, which obviously you want to do it as fast as possible, but sometimes, things happen, like, you know what, I don't have time, whatever. If you have a day or two in between, like schedule a time where you're going to send them some information. So, hey, by the way, check out my YouTube. I have some really good educational videos. Oh, by the way, hey, check out my Google business page. It's got 122 reviews. And or I send them.
While you're talking about that, I actually did this while we were on the phone. I typed in El Centro Realtor, and there was 2 sponsored guys that came up, first and second, but we want to look at what the organic listing is. And if you type in or El Centro Realtor, Gisela comes up number 5. Okay. And there are people ahead of Gisela that have 91 reviews, 23 reviews, 54 reviews. And what we did with Antonio was we looked at, hey, why are these people with less reviews coming up ahead of us, right? And it goes back to exactly what you're talking about right now, and that is putting content on your Google page. So just like you're putting content on your YouTube page, put content on your Google page. And we had a 1-hour talk with Antonio doing exactly why he comes up number 1 in Gardena, why he comes up number 1 without having the most amount of reviews. But he said the same thing you did. He said, once you hit the 100 mark on the reviews, it puts you in a different category for Google. So not only is it important, and then it also is important to put pictures of your location. And Gina was telling us you want to have 10 pictures outside, 10 pictures inside. You want to have 30 pictures, and you want to have pictures of some of the homes that you've sold. So you have 30 pictures on your Google, and continually upload photos, just like you continually upload content. And that will get you to the #1 position. So you're #5 right now, Pete. So you got some work to do. But #5, if you look at the list, there's about 30 or 40 people on the list. You guys are almost near the top.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And you drove something very important is that, so if you look at her business profile, right, she has a picture, she's got videos in there, she's got a lot of her speaking engagement. If you ever come across speaking engagement, guys, make sure you're showing that, because whenever you hold a mic, or you're in front public speaking, that just takes your authority to a whole nother level. So here she is being interviewed. Here's a picture of her magazine. This is another great tool that I highly recommend for you guys. It's called Reminder Media. You get to have your own little magazine. This right here is a massive tool for us, because when we get a seller lead that opts in to us, within 5 minutes, I'm drawing up a CMA, a residential flyer, and then I have a letterhead. I have a letterhead document in English and Spanish that I will attach to the seller package. Let me show you.
So while you're doing that, there's two things that I want to point out. There's some good implementers in our group. Antonio's one of them. You're one of them. They're both talking about the same thing, right? They're talking about YouTube short videos, which is what Gina's been talking about, and they're talking about Google reviews. Those are the two main things that are getting these guys phone calls. So are you hearing the repetitive talk, right? So repetition, it is in your best interest to pick up the phone, call your old clients, and don't be afraid to ask for them to give you a review. Hey, I'm trying to get to 100 reviews. Don't be afraid to continue to put content on your YouTube and Google listings, YouTube channel and your Google listings. And every time we talk about this, what I'm going to do right now, I just was interviewed on the radio in LA last week again. I'm going to go put the interview up on my Google, my business page right now. So go ahead. I'm just adding a few things to what you're saying there, Pete.
Yeah, so as soon as specifically because we want listings, right? That's where the leverage is at. So when we have, which I will show you right now where we get a lot of the leads, but I'm just showing you the process of what we do. So the lead comes in with, you gotta have speed to lead. That's a key thing, speed to lead. Within the first 30 seconds, you make sure you pick up the phone. If it's a seller lead and they're within a driving distance, here in Imperial Valley, where I'm 15 minutes from every city, it's all close. So I will within 5 minutes, I'm drawing up a CMA, and I'm putting this little seller package together. So it's got a letterhead, and it talks about our experience. So it's in English and Spanish, because we're in a bilingual market. And I don't know if I don't have a chance to talk to that person, because sometimes they opt in and I call them and they don't answer. Okay, well, I'm gonna go door knock on their house, like within the next 15 minutes, I'm out the door. So I will have this package. It has a CMA and then the residential flyers. So attach the residential flyers, and then I'm gonna put it all in this nice Reminder Media magazine. Let me unblur my video here. So here we go. Here we go. So I'm gonna put it all in this nice little Reminder Media, and look at my wife's face is on there. I'm in the back right there on the mortgage side. And then one other cool thing, if you have a chance to be written in a book. So this is my wife is a co-author in a book called Finest Women in Real Estate, and she's on chapter 1. So it's called, so I make sure that I put a bookmark right here on chapter 1, and then the residential flyer is gonna. So look at this, guys. I mean, this looks pretty nice. So when you drop this off, so you're gonna drop. So think about how we stand at how we are already above the competition. Like, how many people could say they have a book? Probably not a lot of people. How many people could say they have like their own little personalized magazine? So by dropping these two things off, we're already telegraphing a different type of professionalism and marketing that especially here in the Imperial Valley, 99% of people are not doing this stuff right here. It's I would say about 60% of the listings here in the MLS, the realtors use their cell phone, which is crazy. It is so crazy. And we come in here, we use professional photos, drone videos, 3D camera, all kinds of technology. So when we sit down with the person and we tell them that, they're mind blown. I show them the little 3D dollhouse. I'm like, hey, look at this, and people can walk through it, and they're like amazed because people don't do that. So this is the stuff that I will leave. I'll door knock if I talk to the person. I say, hey, hi, Mr. Seller. You had just gone to one of our websites, which I will give the list right now. And then I talk to them. I drop this off. I see if I could set up an appointment to come back. But this is a very good tool that I believe in and I know it works. We have a very high conversion ratio with that tool, so highly recommend it. So let's jump into.
And just to add to that, believe it or not, there is more people in other areas that are doing these things. But if you take a percentage of all the realtors that are actually doing it, and let's say there's 100 realtors, maybe a couple of them might be doing it at this level. So even though there's more people that are doing it in the area that you may be servicing, it's still a much lower percentage. The percentages don't change from city to city too much. But out there where Pete's at, they're less tech savvy maybe. And so Pete and his wife are killing it because he's super tech savvy and he's doing the work. And to get 122 reviews takes time. I'm just letting you know. Doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of work.
It takes time, and this is one thing that you're going to see. You're going to see who your real friends are as you're getting the reviews. Oh man, it's interesting that most of those reviews, it was like what's it called, like what's that saying, like tooth and nail, like just like having a fight. I was following up with certain people that are supposedly our friends, even family members till this day will not leave reviews, and I'm like, that's mind-boggling. But a lot of times, guys, they're close to us, but they have some inner envy, especially if you're having success. So don't get so caught up if they don't want to leave a review. I mean, even some people that are, like I said, very close to us. I'm like, hey, could you leave a review? And then like they'll just ghost us, and then I'll ask random people, and they're like, yeah, sure. Like I'll how I was getting the reviews, I recommend though. What I did is like I would reach out to like let's say Fred. I say, hey Fred, I just left you a 5-star review on your Google page, and they're like, oh, thanks. And I'm like, hey, do you mind returning the favor and leaving one for my wife? And then I just drop the link. So that's how I approach it. Because again, you want to lead with value. Don't be like, hey, could you leave don't start off with give me, lead off with serving, providing value. So, but yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, you're gonna find out who your true friends and family are. Because I don't know, it's really interesting. They don't want to leave reviews though. Anyways, that's another call. We'll talk about that on the mindset call. So let me bring up this picture here. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. So make sure that you save it too. Save that picture that I just put there on the chat. I don't want to go into too much detail here, but these are the websites that offer leads. So most of them are going to be like referral leads. They do ask for a percentage of the deal. It could be anywhere between 25, 30, 40. Nowadays, the way that the market is, I'm pretty sure you've seen how Zillow and Cities, they're now charging 40%, which is interesting. But I'm not thinking about how much money I'm giving. I'm thinking like much bigger than that, because I don't care if I have to give 30, 40%, because if I get the loan, well, I'm going to recapture most of that money back. But also too, I want access to their database. I want access to their future referrals, our post-closing follow-up system that we have. So I want to be able to capture more business. So every lead for me is very important. I don't care if I have to pay 25, 30, 40%, because at the same time too, it drives it also helps us. If we, like right now that we have 9 listings, that means I have 9 videos. That means I have to share with our database. That means my wife's going to have 9 listing for sale signs out there. Our name and our brand is going to continue to be seen by more listings. So I want as more listings. So don't get caught up on like, oh man, they're taking the X amount of commission. Think about the bigger picture of that. So again, I just dropped it in the chat window, but out of all these, right now, the best one for us has been, where is it at? Upnest. Upnest has been one of the strongest ones for us. And especially once you close your first transaction with Upnest, they start putting you, they're like, okay, these people can actually convert. So they're going to start giving you leads. And now that we've closed a couple with them, now they're starting to give us like leads like in San Diego, which we wanted to get to because they're the higher prices. We just got a lead yesterday actually from Upness on a $750,000. So I live 2 hours away from San Diego, but what I did was I that same package that I showed you, I emailed it to my sister-in-law and I said, hey, you're like 15 minutes from here. I'll pay you $25. Can you just go drop off this package at her house? And then I'll work on the phones trying to get them on the phone. But Upnest has been the highest quality for us as far as getting listings. The other one would be Ojo. Oh, right here. Ojo, they have a free version and they have a paid version. We have both. The paid version is a little bit pricey. It's $1,200 a month. We're on it. So it's a 6-month contract. We just started it. This will be our second. We're going into our 3rd month in November. So far we've gotten about 30 leads and we got 1 listing appointment out of that. So what I like about leads is the math behind the leads. So 1250 is what we pay times 6 months. So we're going to pay $7,500 for 6 months of Ojo Pro. We just got a listing recently from that. We're going to list it for, I think it was $425 for 2.5%, right? Times 0.80, the brokerage fee. So that 1 lead already paid for 6 months and there's a profit. This is what I love about leads, is that when you start looking at the math, because I also have, they're also giving us 20 leads per month. So I'm going to have, what is that? 6 times 20, that's 120 leads. 120 leads times 0.04 is kind of average. I mean, we're better. We have a higher closing ratios, but I'm just going to go with the very minimum. So that's about 4 to 5 transactions. So that's like my goal. My goal is, okay, if we're spending this amount, if I can just get 4, I mean 1 transaction I already paid for the whole 6 months. So I'm like, we're good. We're already in the green. But if I can get 3 more transactions, then I'm like, damn, this is I hit a home run, potentially a grand slam. Because again, you're going to be able to nurture those leads over time. So that's why I'm a huge fan of online leads, because it's just a numbers game. And now that I know that, and I have the skill set to follow up relentlessly, as Grant Cardone said. You want to be you want to follow up relentlessly. You have your drip system, right, where they're getting emails, messages, phone calls, depending on how hot they are. They're getting the magazines. You put them on an automatic drip for the magazine, so they're getting those quarterly. Because one
And
thing that I've learned, and
when you say automatic drip, just so everybody knows, and I know you and I know, but automatic drip means that you got a CRM, or you're continually emailing them and giving them different content and reasons for them to reach back out to you.
correct. So drips is basically like having a campaign where it's an automated set of content that's being delivered via text and email. So for me, I have my drip set out for 3 years so far for English and Spanish. So I had my English content. I sent it to somebody in Mexico to have it professionally translated. And then I set up that Spanish drip, because again, we're in a bilingual market. So when the lead comes in and I talk to them and they're Spanish, boom, I click on the button for Spanish buyer or Spanish seller. And then that's going to help me, because you're talking about, a database of thousands of people in your database. It's really hard to get a hold of everybody. But if you leverage software, it's going to help you pick up the slack where we might drop the ball on follow up. For us, we use KV Core because we're with EXP. They give it to us, or it's part of our monthly fee. But I love one of the biggest features that you want to have. If you don't have this in your CRM, you make sure you find a CRM that does it. It's called behavior automation. So what I mean by behavior automation is these people, it shows me what they're looking at. See, like these people, they clicked fire, meaning like, oh, I really like this property. So you can either call them yourself, or you can use an ISA model, which I like both. But we have an ISA right now from Mexico, bilingual Spanish and English. He's a really sharp kid. He has experience in network marketing. So if you find really sharp salespeople, you can pay them $5-6 an hour. So they're gonna go into your CRM and they're gonna nurture your database. So they're gonna call these people like, hey, Anaí, this is Sergio. I just saw that you had. I work with Pete and Gisela. They're the ones that have been sending you the properties. Oh yeah. We just saw that a couple minutes ago. You saw the property here. See, 8 minutes ago, you saw the property on T Bowman. Hey, are you still thinking about making a move anytime soon? And then from there, they just add the notes of the conversation. If it's a hot lead, well, they send me a message to like, hey, these people want to get pre-qualified, or they want to potentially sell their house. But this information right here is huge. And I love KV Core because depending on what they're looking at, the system is almost going to send them an email and a text message. Hey, I saw that you were looking at the property in T Bowman. Did you want to go take a look at it? But it comes with our name on there. Like that's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome. We're able to have more communications than the average salesperson because of technology that we're leveraging. So we're almost done about the call, but yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share. I hope I was able to deliver some great content. Just to make sure, if on the follow-up, guys, again, it's not an overnight success. You have to nurture the leads. You got to follow up with them. Online leads do work, and the more that you do it, you're going to get better at calling them. You're going to build the follow-up muscle that most of us don't have. We drop the ball in following up. And if you have extra funds, I make sure that you get yourself an ISA to help you nurture your database, so that they can, just hit hundreds of dollars per day.
So I'm going to summarize what I learned from Pete, because he does this. He does all of this, and he's figured out which ones are good and which one isn't. So what I heard him say was that he's on YouTube, and he has a YouTube channel for his wife, and it says relocating to the Imperial Valley. And he's got a bunch of content on there, and he's doing the content and keeping the content regular. And he puts content up there to make him look like the authority on the area. And if you look at the YouTube channel, it's very professionally done. Take a look and see if that's something you would like to do for your area. Okay. Number two, the second thing I learned was that he also has a lot of Google reviews for his wife, Gisela. All right. In addition, he has 122 5-star reviews. Antonio talked about the same thing. He said he just got a lady with who wants to sell 4 houses straight from Google, right? So in addition to having the large amount of 100 5-star reviews, which was the magic number for Google, you want to make sure you have photos. You want to make sure you don't delete any of your previous photos. You want to make sure that you continue to put content up there and get into the first position like Antonio is, or get into the 5th position like Gisela, Pete's wife, is. All right. Then he gave us a list of all these websites that provide leads. Some of them charge, some of them just take a percentage. The one he said is doing real well for him is UpNest. And the more deals you close, the more deals they're going to give you. So is that a pretty good summary of what you've said, Pete, today?
Yeah, yeah. So, marketing is all about becoming the loudest person out there. So that's why I showed you all those different mediums, because you want to tap into all those. You want to be everywhere. You want to be all over the place, especially in areas where people might not be tech savvy. You can get a foothold over the competition by being, like I said, the digital mayor of that area, and you just want to be everywhere because yeah, people will remember you. I've gone to Home Depot and people will say like, "Oh, you're that real estate guy, huh? That flips the houses." I said, "Yeah, from at Home Depot." Like, and they had seen somewhere online a video, one of my fix and flip videos or something. So it works. Again, become the digital mayor. When you said about the Google reviews, here's a really cool tool that I just recently got. It's called Pop Card. Pop Card. It's like $100. You get 3 of these cards, and what you send them your Google business link, and they attach it to this card. It's really awesome. So we were just at a real estate conference in Vegas last week. We took our pods and anybody. I said, okay, Gisela, this is the goal. Anybody that we talk to, we're gonna ask if we can leave them a review, and then if they can leave us a review, they pulled out their phone, they just tap it, and it automatically takes you to your review section. You just type in 5 stars and then the comment. It's an amazing tool. Pop Card, $100. I highly recommend it. So just get in the mindset. I carry this in my wallet. So if I strike up a good conversation with somebody, like, hey, by the way, do you mind? Can I leave a review for your barber business? And by the way, do you mind leaving one for my wife, like a character review? I mean, because obviously they got to know you too, right? They can't just leave a non-genuine review. But the people that I know, I'm gonna pop this out, especially at at Mexican parties. We have quinceañeras and stuff. A lot of my Mexican peeps, I wanna go to all the tables and be like, hey uncle, hey aunt, do you mind leaving a 5-star review? My goal would be to get to like 250 within the next 3 months. I want to say so.
There you go.
Pop Card.
So, very good, Pete. Thank you. I know you weren't feeling well today, and I really appreciate you joining us last minute. And Gina wasn't able to join us today, but always good to connect with you, Pete. And we appreciate you. And of course, I'll be bothering you and welcoming you back again. Because
absolutely, we'd like to have him on for a market call. And I wanted to also thank you, Pete, and to touch a little bit on the habits and what you said in the beginning of the call is really important. And then the Pomodoro effect. I just wanted to give an additional little tip. I have this cube right here, and you can look it up, the Pomodoro technique, and you set it for 20 minutes, and turn everything off, your phone off. You don't need to take any calls. Everybody can wait at least 20 minutes. And you will be amazed at how much work you can do in that 20 minutes. Uninterrupted. Lock your door, no kids, tell everybody in your household you're gonna work for 20 minutes at least. And if you do this 4 times a day, you can get so much done. So I just wanted to put that little tip out there. Something I've been trying to implement myself. So, and I also put the link for homeadvocates.io. The website is back up. And that's why I'd really like to have Pete on to discuss the market and the uptick in foreclosures so that we can actually get our platinum group. There's 171 people in that group, and we can start hitting these foreclosures. So I did put the link in the chat. So if anybody that's watching this on a replay or anybody new on the call today, please check out the website.